In its quest to provide an open forum for discussion of controversial issues, this station allows hosts and their guests to express themselves without any significant censorship. You are advised that any view expressed by the host or their guest are not necessarily the views of the owners or management of TogiNet Radio, Togi Entertainment, or the Owners Group, Inc.
Motherhood Incorporated proudly presents Military Mom Talk Radio, live on TogiNet.com. Co-hosted by Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Back, the owner of Motherhood Incorporated. Military Mom Talk Radio is here with a powerful platform for women to discuss their ideas, issues, and concerns with respect to the military lifestyle. Military Mom Talk Radio encourages you to share your experiences of being a military wife and mother. This show is dedicated to educating your family about the resources that are available in both the public and private sector. And we'll be sharing helpful information from women around the world. We'll cover everything military, from helping a family member cope with post-traumatic stress disorder, to navigating government programs dealing with family issues, to the struggles of deployment, along with being a working mother, both in and out of the home. This is Military Mom Talk Radio. And here are your hosts, Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Back.
Hey, Military Moms. This is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd, who's filling in for Tina Gonzalez. Robin, how are you today?
I'm great, Sandra. How are you?
Great.
Good.
It's been it's been such a busy day today for me. I mean, it's like,
what
some
day
days
isn't busy for you? Really?
Honestly, Saturday I was really lazy. I got up with my kids. We actually laid in bed and watched a movie for a while, and then we got up and ate, and then we went to a physical movie. We saw Romeo and Juliet, which was really fun.
Oh, this looks so cute. I would love to see that.
It's you and Steven should go and hold hands, and I had 4 little hands to hold, so it wasn't but it was really cute. It was kind of though it was kind of like an over-the-top Elton John, because every single song was Elton John, and then when I saw the credits, I'm like, oh, it was executive producer Elton John. He put up the money for it, I guess.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
Every single song.
Oh, no
Even
kidding.
the backstory songs were I didn't know all the songs, but I recognized them as Elton John songs, so
yeah.
It was really good. But I didn't do much on Saturday, and I really didn't do that much on Sunday other than go to the gym, go to church, went around with the kids, and it's only 2:00 here in Los Angeles, and I'm done. I'm beat. But we had a website disappear today, and I was like, I've never seen that before. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just completely gone. And we eventually found it and got back up, for the client. But I was like, it's like being shot out of a cannon this morning.
Isn't it hard when you have some kind of technological thing that just kind of screws up your whole day?
Right. I mean, it was funny because, Christy was here today on our sister show, Motherhood Talk Radio, that airs Tuesdays at 3 Pacific Standard Time. She stopped by, and she was so mad because somehow the kids set the Wii to only Spanish, and so she can't. I mean, the whole thing is Spanish now, so she can't even go and figure out where, because I'm like, look for idioma, where it says idioma will, and she's like,
sorry
idioma,
that I'm laughing, but I think that's hilarious.
It is hilarious, but, she's got 3 kids, and, they set the Wii to Spanish, so now nobody can play any of the games, and she can't figure it out, and Greg can't figure it out, her husband, so... I'm going to send Anna over today.
I was just going to say, you need to send Anna over.
It is. I'm like, but it's just been one of those days, I think, for everybody.
Yeah. We're just sick of snow over here. We're just getting more and more snow.
Did you have more snow this weekend?
Yeah, we really did. And I thought it was just going to be 2 to 4 inches, and we're like, oh, pshaw, nothing. But we just got snow and more snow and more snow. And today, actually, it started raining, so that means that it's wet snow packed in wet snow. So the roads aren't bad right now, but gee whiz, we've just really kind of had it this year. We've sometimes when you have a year that starts snowing in October and the kids are trick-or-treating in snow, you're in for a long winter. But sometimes when you just get plowed with storm after storm after storm, it's just pretty depressing, and you just
and it gets tiresome. I remember, by March, I'm done with the snow.
Oh yeah, because it's physically tiring. It's not just emotionally tiring that you can't get out and do the things you'd like to do. It's physically tiring. You've got to shovel this stuff, and even if you snowblow, that's physically tiring, and you still have to shovel out stairs and walkways, even if you have someone plow the driveway part. So it's physical no matter what way you look at it. So.
Well, and it's physical in really strange ways. I mean, the removal and stuff of snow, but even like this weekend, we had our 2 inches of snow, that we get. But it was like just to get my kids in the snow boots, in their little snow pants, in their snow jacket, and the hat, and the gloves. And I was like, oh, forget it. This is why I left Buffalo.
Yeah. And whenever you have scout meetings or school recess or all of those things, you really impact any kind of program time because you've got to spend a half an hour getting everybody's mittens and who did what and where's your other boot.
Where's your hat? What do you do with your boot? That's not your boot. That's not where your boot goes.
Yeah, I miss those days actually, but that's
do you
okay.
really?
I do. I do miss those days. I miss the days because looking for a sock is just the most wonderful thing. I would love to have to search down a sock for a kid right now,
you can come to my house because we have sock wars in here because my little 4-year-old, he's a sock flinger. His foot gets hot. He doesn't take it off and lay it at the side of the chair. He flings it. And so they show up in the bookcases, they're in the cabinets. It's like socks in our house are such a nightmare, and my ex-husband doesn't help at all. He actually put his name on the socks. And I didn't object to it at first, because, it's hard when clothes go back and forth between the two houses. But
sure, yeah.
What he did was he wrote his name on the sole of each sock. And my 7-year-old came, and he's like, Mom, I am not wearing these socks. And I said, what is wrong with your socks? And he puts his feet up, and he's got his dad's name written on the bottom of each foot.
Oh, dear. Oh.
And he was like, I'm going to get beat up in school. And I'm like, yeah, honey, give me those socks. I was
just going to say, because kids take off their shoes at school and whatnot, or sitting at the reading circle or whatever each school or whatnot calls it. Yeah.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and the funny thing was, and of course, I'm never at a loss for picking on my ex-husband, but, it's so perfect that these are Max's socks, my son Max. So why is the dad's name written on it?
Right. If nothing else, you put Max's name on it.
Yeah, you should put his own kid's name on there, but I just got such a kick out of that. And Robin, sock wars in our house.
And it would be so funny because if I sat down at your table and all of a sudden something came off the light, I would think absolutely nothing of it. I would just pick it up and put it aside. I would think absolutely nothing of it.
We have these big yellow bins in town, and I keep stuffing bags of socks in there because I found that I can go to a couple of these discount stores and I can get a dozen socks for $6.
Oh, sure.
So I get so tired of matching them up, and then and our feet are only I'm 2 sizes bigger than my son's, and then my little guy is 2 sizes smaller. So once they shrink, it's impossible. And I'll go to the gym wearing my 4-year-old socks, and and then they get all mixed up, and then they get gray. So I stuff them all in a bag and I donate them. So I just don't have the patience to sit there and try to match them all up.
Well, for $6, you can manage to go out and buy new socks every once in a while.
Every once in a while, yeah. Especially too, because we wear our socks all over the pool area and stuff because it's hot and or it's cold and rips holes in them. And our socks are just they're sock wars in our house. Suffice it to say.
But that's fun. I'm. That's what kind of being silly and creative is all about. We used to. My husband would come home from work and the whole living room would be torn upside down. We had this furniture that kind of snapped around a frame. They were leather, and it almost was like a bucket. So you'd unsnap it from the frame, and the whole bucket part would flip over. And sometimes Ross would be a Ninja Turtle, and sometimes he'd be Luke Skywalker, and he'd flip it upside down, and he'd be in his whatever the craft was that Luke Skywalker went to the Dagobah system in, and we would just have the best time, and we would totally tear apart the house. But in my mind, I was thinking it's not that the house is torn apart, it's that my kids were doing creative things, that they were doing some role-playing things instead of plugged into a game, and I just really loved the fact that the house would be torn apart for something like that. We had
and it's lived in. It's like one of the things about my house is people live here. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like we live, we draw, we create, we mess, and the one thing that they should have told me when I was filing for divorce a couple years ago, that as a single mom, people are like, oh, it's so hard, and it truly is. I mean, in some levels, it's very, very difficult. But I'll tell you, when you're a single mom in your home, and you put something on the floor, by God, it stays there. I think I have a sock that's like in the corner of my room that I just, in theory, refuse to pick up. It's probably been there 3 years. I pick it up, vacuum underneath it, put it back down, because there's nobody telling me to clean this stuff up, move this box, the house is a wreck, whatever. I got to tell you, that's like worth the price of beans right there.
Mm-hmm. We have not disagreements, but we do have times when I'll just say, all right, I really need to sit down at this table. I really need to push everything aside. And then, of course, if I put something someplace else, I don't want to put it where someone else can't find it.
That's true. I don't really have to share that much anymore. And so my little, my 4-year-old walked in my room the other day, and he's like, Mom, your room's a mess. And I said, yes, isn't it? Isn't that great? It's so great. Look at this mess. There's like clothes all over and shoes and purses. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like, like being a girl.
Yep, that's right.
We have the best guest today. Her name is Debbie.
Sure do.
Oh, she's so much fun, and she's so knowledgeable. Her name is Debbie Gregory, and she is the owner of MilitaryConnection.com. If you haven't been to this site, it's truly amazing. It's everything you need to know if you're part of the military community. It's Military Connection, just like it sounds.com. And it has up-to-date news. It has helpful information and articles. It just has so much on there. We could have Debbie Gregory on every week, and she could tell us something new that's on her site.
Absolutely. Every branch of the services, everybody has something there at MilitaryConnection.com.
Yeah, absolutely. So check it out. When we come back from the break, we will be interviewing Debbie Gregory on some very interesting topics.
Are you a military mom? Looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? That's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Tina Gonzalez. And we'll be right back after these. Everyday Autism Miracles with Shannon Penrod. Friday afternoons at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com. Life after an autism spectrum diagnosis doesn't have to be difficult. It can be joyful, happy, and filled with hope. Join Shannon Penrod, author, speaker, coach, and mom of a 6-year-old recovering from autism, for this inspirational hour of hope. She's even authored a series of children's autism books with her son, Jim. For more information about the books, Shannon, and Everyday Autism Miracles, go to her website, shannonpenrod.com. From there, you can also get to her other websites, blogs, and connections. On Everyday Autism Miracles, you'll hear stories from parents whose children have made miraculous strides. You'll also get the inside dish on therapies, treatments, supplements, and how to get funding to help you afford them. Miracles abound in the autism community. So tune in for Everyday Autism Miracles to listen, share, laugh, and surround yourself with hope. Everyday Autism Miracles with Shannon Penrod. Friday afternoons at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com. Congratulations on being the proud owner of an adorable, soft, cuddly, sweet-smelling, smiling, cooing, hungry, tired, gassy, screaming little bundle of joy. So now what? Where's the owner's manual for this thing? Where are my instructions? Right here. It's baby and toddler instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet.com. Infant care specialist Blythe Lipman has worked with babies for over 20 years. and works extensively with new parents, providing workshops, in-home visits, tips, and daily phone calls to ease those frazzled nerves. With baby and toddler instructions, you can get the advice you need on how to survive and enjoy your baby's first year. For more information on Blythe and how she can help you, go to babyinstructions.com. From 32 ways to stop a baby from crying to 14 ways to get a baby to eat and so much more. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet.com. Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front, with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now, let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Back.
Hi, Military Moms. We're here today with Robin Boyd, who's filling in with Tina Gonzalez. And Robin, we are done with our sock wars. What do you think?
Okay.
Yes.
Onward.
Onward. No more sock wars. For those of you listening in or just joining us, Robin and I in the first segment were talking about the difficulties of kids and socks and rainy days and snowy days and all those good things. And Robin, I think you even said recently that you just found a child's sock in your home.
No, it was acorns. One year, Emily loaded the house with acorns. And just random places, the most random places. And here she is, 24 years old. And honestly, I'll go someplace looking for something, and I'll find an acorn every once in a while. Just
that's
too
so
funny.
She's a future hoarder.
Yep, just because she thought it was funny, just to make it silly. Yeah, that's my daughter. You know my daughter.
It's very funny.
Silly.
It's like my son putting a sock in the freezer because he thinks that's funny. But well, we are welcoming Debbie Gregory today of MilitaryConnection.com, and she's going to talk to us about the Service Members Civil Relief Act. So we're going to change to a very serious topic because this does affect a lot of our service members, and a lot of people have encountered great difficulty that they don't have to if they were aware of some of the things that Debbie Gregory is going to share with us today. Debbie, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Hi.
Hi, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show.
It's a pleasure to be back again, and it's always fun with you two.
Random sock stories. But we are going to talk about a very serious topic. Debbie, do you want to share with us a little bit about what it's called SCRA, right? SCRA, Service Member Civil Relief Act?
Right, and I want to preface it by saying I'm not an attorney. Okay, and I'm not giving legal advice to anybody.
Absolutely, this is not intended.
But as the CEO of MilitaryConnection.com, I see over and over when those who serve our nation aren't cognizant of benefits and protections they have. And this is a very important one. A news story broke not too many weeks ago about a family that it involved their home being foreclosed. And the family, the mortgage was through J.P. Morgan Chase. And it was on CNN. It was in all of the papers. I don't know if anybody saw it, but it really kind of illustrated the point. Marine Captain Jonathan Rouse and his family had a home, and he was activated. And what the service... What the Service Member Civil Relief Act does, among many other things, is if you notify your lender that you're activated, it locks in your interest at 6%, and it prevents, while you're activated, the stress of having to deal with a foreclosure, and it protects, rights. And apparently they did everything right, the Rolls. In fact, even Chase said they did everything right. And they were still foreclosed on. And apparently they were not alone. Chase foreclosed on millions of dollars of loans and charged millions of dollars of interest. I think it was $2.4 million that they need to return, they said, to families, and 18 foreclosures. And, keep in mind that Captain Rose is a weapons officer on an F-18. He is in dangerous situations. And the whole purpose of this act is when someone's activated, that they don't have to stress out about their loans because they're serving their country, they're defending our nation. And
they're a little busy.
Right. And in this instance, J.P. Morgan Chase was one of the banks that received bailout money under TARP. I think they got something like $25 billion, according to a comment by, I'm quoting in this, the Senate committee. And they want to say, okay, we'll give it back. Well, you know what? In my opinion, there needs to be a deterrent so that it isn't just them probably either, and anybody else, any other lending institutions that are violating the rights of active duty service members need to pay, whether it be a fine, whatever, but they need to pay in line with what it is. So, this kind of riled me up, and I know a lot of people, and one of the people is a top law firm that deals in nothing but class actions. They have an impeccable reputation, Gerard Gibbs.
Okay.
And we're joining forces with them to protect service members' rights under SCRA. And we want Gerard Gibbs will investigate service members' reports. And by the way, it's not just home loans. It could be a student loan. It could be a credit card loan, a car loan. Any kind of consumer loans are protected under this. And they're investigating any creditors that may be improperly denied service members their rights under the Service Members Civil Relief Act. And they're top legal guns, So I think that. And also they want to help. They're the kind of firm that even if somebody maybe doesn't fit, they'll give them information, tell them what they need to do, help them. And that's one of the reasons why we're joining forces with them because, it's hard enough to go through the sacrifices we know firsthand that the men and women serving our country and their families face, but then to face losing your home, and especially, if it isn't right and your rights aren't, being violated, they need someone to go to. And we're going to be issuing a press release this week. But we hope that, people who have loans are cognizant of this protection under SCRA and take advantage of it.
Now, and this actually affects
I'm
taxes,
sorry, Sandra.
too.
I just wanted to know, is this a newly created or is something that's been newly enacted, or has this been there all along?
It was the former Soldiers and Sailors Civil Relief Act, and now it's called the Service Members Civil Relief Act. Well, that's what it's called. And it does a lot of things. For instance, I'm reading something, but it protects service members and their families from eviction from housing while on active duty due to non-payment of rents. And they've extended the amount. It used to be $1,200 a month or less, and now it's more in line with today's rents. I think it goes up to close to $3,000 a month. It provides a service member who receives a permanent, and I'm reading from the Act, and again, I'm not an attorney and I'm not dispensing legal advice. That's something you have to talk to a lawyer, which is why we brought in Gerard Gibbs, because I'm not a lawyer, who receives permanent, it provides a service member who receives a permanent change of station orders or who is deployed to a new location for 90 days or more with the right to terminate a housing lease. So let's say you have a lease and that you entered into before you became active duty, it gives you certain rights.
Or if you get a PCS move, that's one of the things that happens to our service members.
Obviously, right.
They get moved around the country, and they are protected if they have a PCS move.
Mm-hmm. It also has it updates life insurance protections to activated Guard and Reserve members. It increases it from $10,000 to $250,000, the maximum policy coverage that the federal government will protect them from default for non-payment while on active duty. It prevents a form of double taxation. There's a lot of wonderful benefits within it, and I encourage everyone to read it. If they don't understand it, go to someone that does, and be cognizant of it, because this is a right that you've earned. And as I said over and over, it never ceases to amaze me how many service members aren't aware of, things they're doing, or do them, and they've earned. Another example is the post 9/11 GI Bill benefits. Where, not only is their tuition paid, or if it's a trade school or an apprentice program, but they can receive a housing allowance that's equivalent to the pay of an E5 with dependents, regardless of whether E5 are dependents or not. We have, there's sort of a disconnect. You're in active duty, and then you become a veteran all of a sudden, and what I've kind of noticed is that the TAPS offices programs do a great job, but like anything, when we get too much information, we kind of tune out. And then all of a sudden they're a veteran, but there's veteran service officers that you can find out about what's due you as well.
And your website, Debbie, I got to tell you, really helps out clarify a lot of the information that's out there. It's a very, very simple and easy to use website.
Well, we really try, and something else that we're really making an effort to inform people is our newsletter. We do a monthly newsletter, and I think it goes out to about 800,000 right now.
Now, how would somebody listening today how would they get a hold of your newsletter?
They could email info at military connection, and that's singular.com, and just put in there that they want to subscribe to the newsletter, or they could register on the site, whatever's easier for them. And for instance, last month we had about 200 stores and companies that offer discounts to active duty as well as veterans. This month we're featuring all of the government websites that you need for just about anything. Also, there's warnings, there's casting calls, there's free tickets. We also promote a lot of the nonprofits. And this month, anybody that's a motorcycle enthusiast, I wanted to tell you about a wonderful organization we work with. Have you heard of the Iraq Star Foundation?
We've heard of it, but go ahead and tell us about...
Well, anyway, this is a group of the top plastic surgeons in the nation, and they perform pro bono surgeries on severely wounded warriors, usually warriors that need multiple operations. They might be multiple amputees. They might be burn victims from IED attacks, and it's all done pro bono. And they work with the government. They're not criticizing the military. They kind of enhance the treatment they're receiving. And they're just a wonderful organization. It was founded by a prior Air Force nurse by the name of Maggie Lockridge and her daughter, Michaela Bensko, and we've worked with them for a number of years. And they have a motorcycle. It's a custom motorcycle. It's an amazing
motorcycle. I hate to cut you off. We got to go to break. We will pick you up.
I'll tell you about it when we get back.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you a military mom? Looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? That's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Tina Gonzalez. And we'll be right back after these.
The American Rock and Roll Countdown with Alex Prime.
So where were you in the 1970s? Well, this Saturday morning, we're going to flash back to the 70s as we count down the classic hits with the American Rock and Roll Countdown. You'll hear news and information and stories about the artist and what was going on during the specific week that we highlight. So be sure to join us at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time this Saturday on TogiNet for the American Rock and Roll Countdown.
The American Rock and Roll Countdown on TogiNet.
Season Me is on TogiNet, a delightful, thoughtful, serious, and not-so-serious call-in show with Cecil Murphy and Twyla Belk. Tuesday nights at 8, 7 Central on TogiNet.com. You know Cease is the veteran author from 90 Minutes in Heaven, Gifted Hands, When a Man You Loved Was Abused, and many other books, as well as a mentor for writers. And Twyla Belk is an effervescent force known as the Gotta Tell Somebody gal. She's also a writer and motivational speaker who's always bragging on God. For more on Cecil Murphy, go to his website, Cecil Murphy, that's PHEY.com. And for Twyla, GottaTellSomebody.com. The show, Cecil and Me, is a far-reaching, faith-based shared conversation and call-in show with questions welcome. A chance to get everything out in the open, from questions about writing to surviving sexual abuse to the topics of the day, all from a Christian worldview to help you. Cecil and Me, Cecil Murphy, Twyla Belk, Tuesday evenings at 8, 7 Central on TogiNet.com.
Put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and a statue of Liberty started shaking her fist.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front, with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now, let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Beck.
Courtesy.
Hi, Military Moms. This is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd, and we have just an outstanding show today. We are welcoming Debbie Gregory of MilitaryConnection.com. If you haven't been to Military Connection, just type it in the way it sounds. It's an outstanding website. It's got online directories for military resources. It's got over 1,500 pages and 12,000 valuable links. I mean, it's probably got more than that by now, but every time I go on there, there's new stuff added, there's new information. It's one of the best resources I've ever come across that's available for the military community. I mean, Debbie, you've done a wonderful job.
Thank you. It's a work in progress. We're always adding to it. And if anyone has a valuable resource or link, as long as it's not, a commercial company, but it's something that, would be of value, an organization, it could be a nonprofit, it could be information, we'll be happy to consider it. Putting it on the site, and the site does have literally tens of thousands of pages. For example, we have thousands of jobs, thousands on our job board. And we have a virtual job fair that has those employers that really want military and veterans. We have our education area. Everything you need to know about education benefits. You can even figure out, there's a calculator, what your housing allowance would be. You can figure out what the in-state tuition is for any particular state. There's even the GI Bill application on there.
Wow.
There's just and there's schools that really are looking at military and veterans and offering special courses for them. It might be a college degree, but not everybody wants a college degree, so there's all kinds of courses, and you might want to check them out. But you're right, there's a section for every service, and on our new revamped site that is a work in progress right now, we'll also be adding the public health service and commission, the commission corps, which is one of the services actually that a lot of people aren't aware of, and we want to make sure they have their own section. We also have the military buzz section that just has all kinds of information, the spouse section. We're going to have a lot of information on finance and loans. And for those of you that don't know, I also founded another organization in my spare time called VAMBOA.
In our spare time. Don't you love that?
Right. I need a mini-me. But VAMBOA stands for Veteran and Military Business Owners Association. And we have over 3,000 members, and we just started in July. And a lot of military are wonderful entrepreneurs. Maybe they're more qualified and interested in starting their own businesses when they come out of the service than in working for someone else. And this is going, a resource site. And in fact, we're going to be doing a conference either in late April or early May at Amgen, the biotech giant company's corporate headquarters for veteran business owners. And Amgen is just a wonderful company that really embraces hiring veteran business owners and service-disabled veteran business owners. And we're very fortunate to have them as a sponsor and have them offer having the conference there. But anyway, I wanted to tell everybody who's a motorcycle enthusiast, we were talking about the Iraq Star Foundation. And this is a $100,000 motorcycle, okay? And it's going to be auctioned off on September 11th of this year. And this is a one-of-a-kind motorcycle that was part of a rock star year-long campaign to raise awareness. You can click on it and get all of the particulars about it. I'm not a big motorcycle person, so I would probably be misquoting it, but there's pictures and everything. And I think you can actually buy tickets, the drawings to win it, and it is tax deductible. The foundation pays for surgeries for wounded warriors. And they have some wonderful surgeons that just donate their time, and it's just a win-win.
And where can we find more information on this?
Go and send an email and ask to be in our newsletter. It's info at militaryconnection.com, and we'll send you the newsletter. And it'll have everything about the motorcycle in the newsletter.
That's wonderful. I can only imagine how many people would be getting onto this, because I think motorcycle enthusiasts really are a quiet group in that, and I say that kind of funny in that you hear them when they're coming along, but so many people are involved in these groups.
And so many military.
Yes. We have a huge group out here in the Northeast, and it's people that you didn't even know were a part of it, and then you see of an event like this, and it's just tremendous. Will the auction take place at a facility, or is it going to be only online?
I'm not sure. When you click on it, it has more information. It goes to their page with all the particulars about it. But we do the 9/11 Freedom Walk at the Reagan every year, and the 2011 one will be our 6th year producing it with the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. And a rock star has always been one of our guests there. So I'm hoping, I don't know for sure, but maybe we might be able to do it there. I haven't talked to Maggie about it, but that's a possibility.
Yeah. And this is in California.
Yes, and last year, just to give you an idea of how big an event it was, we had over 2,500 participants, and Gary Sinise was our keynote, and Gary is just the Bob Hope of our time. He just works tirelessly for our troops. And I have to tell anybody that if they've ever had the opportunity to hear the Lieutenant Dan Band, they're in for such a treat. I mean, they're not just good. They are great. They are extraordinary musicians. And this is, acting is really Gary's day job, I think.
Yes.
And the music is, his real passion.
I found the Lieutenant Dan Band, and I thought that it was a riot when because at first I thought it was just a joke, or it was just like a pun. And then when I realized, wait a minute, these guys are, not only is it a real band, but it's a great band.
Oh, they are amazing. I was invited to the mid-season wrap party for CSI New York, and they were playing, and I kind of thought, well, that's sort of a nice treat, but I wasn't that impressed. Oh my gosh, I was just overwhelmed. The music was so good, and they play everything. I mean, every kind of music, and they've got singers and just extraordinary musicians. And this time, Gary has a 20-year-old son, Matt, who played the drums a couple sets, and he was wonderful too. So it must be genetic. I don't know. But they play at a lot of bases. I know they just came back from playing at some of the bases in Hawaii. And they played at Camp Pendleton, and they fly all over, and they're just, outstanding. Gary has just done so many things for members of the armed forces, and he's works tirelessly. We're very lucky to have somebody like him.
Oh, he's everywhere. I mean, it's like, sometimes I wonder if he's cloned, because it's like I see him at all these different military events. I see him, endorsements. I mean, I don't know when he sleeps.
I know. He's a very hardworking, and he's just one of the good guys, without a doubt. And let's see, we have something new coming to Military Connection next month. Wendy Enlow is an award-winning career coach and columnist. She's been featured in the American Legion magazine, in the New York Times, and we're going to do a questions and answers where you can ask Wendy career questions, and she will, pick and choose some of them. So she's going to be doing a column for us.
And that you can access from military.
It'll be it'll be in our feature columns, and
okay.
We have a new version of the website that will be launching hopefully in the next 60 days, maybe sooner. Although I need to be a patient soul when it comes to developers, but it's going to be a lot easier to navigate, and we hope. We have so many columns from everything from finance to legal to advice, marital advice to career. There's just literally something for everybody, and we want people to be able to find it and use it. And if there's something that you think that's important, let us know, and we'll definitely consider it. And if there's something you want to contribute that would have value for our audience, we'll consider that too. I wanted to also tell you, of those that you don't know, we have also connected with another organization called Military Housing Assistance Fund, and they offer they offer grants for military families for closing costs in purchasing homes.
Really?
And we're going to there'll be information about them in the newsletter as well. And they're doing kind of some questions and answers for people buying a home. These are the closing costs that are associated with the home purchase. And their mission is to expand housing opportunities for military families. And you don't have to be a first-time home buyer either to be able to buy to qualify for the grants. And also, if I'm not mistaken, the VA, the GI loans, you can use more than once now.
I believe so. I mean, don't quote us, you guys out there. You'll need to check it out. But I believe that there's a lot of different changes, and that's why people should go to militaryconnection.com.
Right. And we're going to be deploying our newsletter this week. It'll be February's, but it's not going out to the beginning of March, so there'll be two in March. And that's
it'll be February 30th, right? It's going out on February 30th.
Exactly. But that's, because there's some important information that's going to be in it that we think is valuable, and we want to make sure that users have. We've had everything from the mystery of a ring. By the way, one other thing I want to announce, we have a member of the military who has done so much. He's going to be profiled in here.
Ooh,
and he needs a kidney transplant.
I was just going to say, let's have this as a tease for after the break.
Yes, we're going to because we got to go to break. We're going to talk about the mystery military member that needs something, for those of you that weren't listening carefully. My name is Sandra Beck. I'm here with Robin Boyd on Military Mom Talk Radio. Our outstanding guest today is Debbie Gregory. She is the owner of militaryconnection.com. It's this amazing resource for the military community. If you haven't checked it out yet, please check out militaryconnection.com. It has so much information, pretty much everything you need. It's like Walmart. It's like if you're in the military and you need information, Military Connection is the place to go, or you probably don't need it.
Are you a military mom? Looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? That's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Tina Gonzalez. And we'll be right back after these. Parents, if you feel overloaded, overworked, underappreciated, and seriously stressed out, The Parents Plate is here to help you. The Parents Plate with Brenda Nixon. Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet. It's time to build stronger families through parent empowerment. And that's what The Parents Plate does. The Parents Plate understands the busyness of life and balancing child rearing and other commitments. Brenda Nixon will be talking to noted experts and authors on all issues, from teething to teen driving. Brenda Nixon is a nationally recognized speaker speaker to parents and child care professionals, and author of the award-winning The Birth to 5 book. From Fox 4 in Kansas City to schools and synagogues to businesses to bookstores, conferences to churches, audiences rave that Brenda engages, educates, and encourages. For more information on Brenda and her books, check out her website, brendanixon.com. The Parents Plate is loaded with information and affirmation. The Parents Plate with Brenda Nixon. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
People think I've made it. I'm popular. I seem happy all the time. I have great clothes and I'm involved in everything. But I have questions, doubts, and fears, just like every other teenager. That's why I'm glad for Teen Talk Radio, where it's all about choices.
Join us for Teen Talk Radio with Nicole Odell, Thursday nights at 10, 9 Central on TogiNet.com.
The choices we have to make that can alter the course of our lives. Life is too much pressure if we try to go it alone. I tune in to Teen Talk Radio with Nicole Odell every week to get reminded that I'm not alone. Nicole Odell is an expert on what happens in the lives of teenagers. Join her as she deals with topics like peer pressure, purity, drugs, alcohol, and many other things that might come up along the way. She writes books and speaks to people all over the place, but she says her favorite moments are when she can pull up a chair and chat with teens about what's important to us.
For more information on Nicole and her books, go to NicoleOdell.com. Then join us for Teen Talk Radio with Nicole Odell, Thursday nights at 10, 9 Central on TogiNet.com.
Teen Talk Radio, where it's all about choices.
'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front, with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now, let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Beck.
Hi, Military Moms. This is Sandra Beck, and I am here with Robin Boyd.
Hello.
And hi, Robin. And we also have her. What was that? Your cat coughing in the background? Not more coughing in the background.
Heck, I was thinking, boy, everybody's thinking, wow, she's got a cold.
Yeah, maybe he choked on one of the socks I lost.
I know. I was laughing, thinking you've got socks. I've got cats hacking up over here.
There you go. For those of you that missed this segment and have just tuned in to Military Mom Talk Radio, you can check us out at iTunes under Military Mom Talk Radio. You can also go to TogiNet, ToGINET, and MilitaryMomTalkRadio.com to listen to the earlier broadcast along with the show that has aired today. We have as our guest today Debbie Gregory, and she has the ultimate military website. It's called MilitaryConnection.com. Thousands and thousands of pages of helpful information, valuable links. There's not anything she doesn't cover, and they're going to be coming out with a new site in the next couple months that's going to be even bigger and larger and more comprehensive. So
what's
it really is a website
about
to
this
know.
site is the fact that it's not just for the immediate military personnel. There is something for the whole family, and that's what's so valuable.
Well, and I think even just the job section alone, it's worth checking out if you're, looking for a job. I mean, Robin, you were on that, weren't you, recently looking around?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have been. And for a number of different reasons, and that's why I say I was on, in fact, looking for another blog, and I found it there. So this is what's wonderful.
It's an amazing, amazing resource. And we were teasing. Oh, good job, Debbie. We were teasing you guys and talking about a service member that needs something, and we're going to bring it down to a more serious level. And, Debbie, you're going to let us know what's going on and how we can help and what we're looking for.
Yes, there's a young Marine family. His name is Sergeant Jacob Chadwick. He's an Iraqi war veteran, and he's a new father. They had a baby last October. It's a young family, and he is on kidney dialysis, and he needs a kidney transplant. And what's complicating it is he has blood type O. So we're going to be featuring him in the newsletter. But if there's any, we know how wonderful military and veterans and this whole community is. So this is someone that has sacrificed and served our nation with honor. So maybe we can help them in some way during this critical time. So we're going to have his story featured, and if anybody is type O and interested in finding out if they're compatible, there'll be contact information, and we appreciate your interest. Also, again, I just wanted to reiterate, if you've been activated and you have a mortgage or other types of loans, you have rights under SCRA. You should be aware of them. And we're going to be working with a premier law firm. This is one of probably the best firms in the nation, Gerard Gibbs. They are a class action law firm that protects the rights of consumers in many different areas. And they're big guns, let me tell you. They're nationwide, but they're headquartered in San Francisco and New York. And they have an impeccable reputation. And we're going to be joining forces with them to protect service members' rights under the SCRA regulation.
So I'm going to give a number here. This is Gerard Gibbs on their website right now.
Their phone number?
Oh, go ahead.
415-981-4800. Or you can email info@militaryconnection.com. And we'll refer you as well. And there's going to be a forthcoming press release coming out, and it will give you a link where there'll be a lot of information about SCRA. And you can actually contact them with specific questions about it. And I really believe that the lenders that are violating the rights of service members need to be held accountable. There needs to be a deterrent. Our service members have enough stress to deal with. They shouldn't be dealing with this.
Well, and they picked the right law firm. I mean, they're going up against Toyota. They're going up against, huge H&R Block, Honda, Acura, Hyundai. These are really, this isn't Lehman Brothers. This is not your, average law firm. This would scare the pants off of me if one of these guys called.
Well, they're a good law firm, and we're so glad that they are willing to put their resources forward for members of the military.
Now,
Absolutely.
Debbie, do you have your newsletters archived? Because it's not only
we don't right now, but we're going to.
Okay.
And on the news site, and you know what, we may even get it on this one. That's not a bad idea.
Only because there seems to be so much. Not only is militaryconnection.com packed jam full of info, but it sounds like your newsletters, every issue, have such valuable things to share.
Right. And, even if you go on the site, there's a link. There's literally 200 companies that give discounts to veterans and military. This month, there's going to be hundreds of government websites that, for everything. And also, I want to reiterate, within each service directory is something called helpful links. And helpful links is like a database of databases under different categories. It has everything from locator services to grief counseling, you name it. And we're always adding to it. It's a work in progress. So if there's anything you need, and especially in the areas of jobs and in the areas of education, there's just so much information, and we're always adding more. We want to, they call us the go-to site, and we hope that people feel that way. And you can also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com, the go-to site, and see our tweets.
Well, you know what's so great about your site, too, Debbie? I cruise, running a company like I do, I cruise the web for hours and hours a day, doing what I need to do. And your stuff is free. Like, you don't have to put in a password. You don't have to put in emails to get this and to get access to that. You don't have to pay. You just go there and learn and look. And, to me, that's just right there is worth the price of admission because it's easy.
Right. What good would it be if it wasn't getting into the hands of the people that need it?
Mm. And Debbie,
how long is military? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, seeing that we were kind of checking information here, I wanted to make sure people knew how to get in touch with you for your Vamboa information.
It's the website for Vamboa is Vamboa is V as in victory or veteran, A as in Alice, M as in military, B as in boy, O as in Olive, A as in Alpha, Bamboa.org. And check it out. It's for veteran and military business owners. And there's a lot of information, or you can send something to info@militaryconnection.com, and we'll give you the link and whatever you need.
Super.
And we have over, which amazes me, I think we have 3,200 members now, and we only started in July.
No kidding.
That have joined, and which goes to show you, there's according to a census report I read, there's 2.9 million veteran business owners. Now, not all of them are big businesses. Some of them might be single proprietorships, but there's, it just illustrates how many veterans go into their own business.
Well, you're definitely doing something right, Debbie, because, I found a press release that was put out, in 2006 that cited that your site, militaryconnection.com, was barely 6 months old and already had 10 million hits.
Something like that.
Pretty good.
I think that was from America Supports You. Was that the one you saw?
It's Armed Forces Press Service, something
right,
about
they used
that.
to be right.
Well,
Right.
that's an impressive
Well,
step.
I amazed my husband because he thinks I'm the most technically challenged person on the planet, but I think it's because we have so much information, and like you said, it's out there so that people can use it.
Well, the funny thing, Debbie, it's like, you talk about small world, is, I was sitting here going through in January going, I really need to find some, different people to interview. I've got a lot of people contacting Military Mom to be part of it, but I really want to ramp up this charity thing. So I started looking for military charities, and what comes up, the Charity Connection, part of Military Connection. It's like you're there. It's like everywhere you turn on the Internet, Military Connection keeps coming up again and again, and it's because you have so much information. It's so easy to use, and it's a very, very easy site to navigate. You don't get lost, you don't get turned around, and your information is what I'm looking for. I go to a lot of military sites and I get a lot of information. I'm like, this isn't what I'm looking for. You actually deliver what you say you're going to deliver, and then you give me much more. So
Thank you.
Obviously I've got no paid endorsement for this. I just think your site is amazing, and anybody in the military community needs to check out militaryconnection.com.
And we want to be better. We want to do the best job we can for those that serve. And if I got a little passionate about the loans, it just annoys me to no end that anybody would, put that additional pressure on there. And, a big banking institution. And I'm sure it's the tip of the iceberg, to be honest. That's my belief. So,
well, and I love the way you put it earlier, when you basically said, we can arm our military families with the information they need to protect their rights and their benefits.
Oh, absolutely.
And that was just such a powerful way to put it. And I want to thank you for being our guest today. And,
it's always a pleasure to be on your show.
I know I could do like 10 hours with you because you have so much to say. We're going to bring you back again in May for more information. I would like you guys to check out militaryconnection.com. Our guest today was Debbie Gregory. If you guys missed the show or want to look at other episodes, please check us out at iTunes at militarymomtalkradio.com. You can also check us out at TogiNet. And Robin, you got anything to add before we close?
Just the fact that I can't wait to find out what more things are going to be on militaryconnection.com with the launch of their new site. This is going to be great. We also want to remember that to sign up for that newsletter because we'll have more information about that auction in September, the motorcycle.
Right, and that's info at militaryconnection.com.
Right, and it helps our wounded warriors, too.
We'll be back next week.
Thank you. Okay.